In this tape, we're going to deal with the subject of professional selling. Now, it's by no means a complete analysis of the subject, but we'll discuss the fundamental skills you will need to acquire as a salesperson. One of the great universal myths about selling is that if you're a great talker, you're going to be great at selling. Nothing could be further from the truth. Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, "It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen." Successful salespeople agree that the most important skill in sales is listening. Well, it's obvious when you think about it, because selling is about solving people's problems and meeting their needs. Now, how do we find out what they need? We find out by asking questions and listening to their answers. Have a look at these two styles and decide which one is going to be the more effective.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
Celia from Albright Cleaning.
Yeah.
I was just in the area and I thought I'd just pop in and let you know what we've got on offer.
Right.
Albright Cleaning Company is the best cleaning company in the country. Our sanitation experts exclusively use Bergmaster 5000s. Now, they're imported from Germany. Well, of course. I don't know who you're using at the moment, but we'll do a much better job than they do. Yeah, well, annually we clean 150,000 windows, 97,000 floors, 42,000 rooftops, 13,000 factories, 200 police stations, 180 fire brigades, 4 taxis and a lighthouse.
I'm sorry?
Lighthouse.
A lighthouse. Well, that's one way of doing it. But is there a better way?
Well, this is a nice place you've got here, Bill. I notice you keep it very well maintained. Do you use cleaning contractors or do you have your own staff?
No, it's too expensive to hire people. We use Acme Cleaning for the offices and windows and Safety Clean to come in twice a year for the floors and factory walls.
Well, so why do you use 2 companies?
Well, we get a build-up of styrene on the floors after a while. Acme don't do the industrial heavy work, so we call in Safety Clean.
Is that inconvenient?
No, it's only a phone call.
Well, and they come straight away.
No, that can be a bit of a problem. They are a bit slow. I guess we're not a very big account for them.
You know we do both industrial cleaning and your general office cleaning.
Well, we're not that unhappy with the people we're using now.
But what about the convenience of dealing with only one company, combined with a faster response time?
What makes you think you'd be faster than the opposition?
Well, if we had both your accounts, the offices and the factory, you'd be a sizable account for us. We'd have to look after you.
What about cost?
Why don't you show me around and I'll prepare you a quote?
Okay. Over here.
Well, obviously, the second example is much better, because our salesperson found out what the customer needed. The first example sounded good, but what was said had no relevance to the customer's needs. And there's another important point about the second example. It shatters another great myth about selling, the myth that somehow selling is unethical. If you're dogmatic and tell people what they need without taking time to understand their problems, you have every reason to feel guilty. However, you can never be accused of unethical behavior if you ask people to tell you their problems and then help them find a solution. And that is what selling is really about. As a salesperson, you need empathy. You need a genuine desire to help the client. Once you've uncovered the customer's needs, you need to demonstrate how your product will satisfy these needs. And we do this with benefit statements. One of the greatest mistakes you can make as a salesperson is to talk about features instead of benefits. A feature is an attribute of the product. A benefit is what that attribute does for the client. Here are some examples where salespeople use features instead of benefits.
This policy matures when you're 65.
This property has 2 bathrooms.
We have our own delivery vans.
Not very exciting stuff, is it? However, when you turn them into benefits, you can hear how much more exciting the product sounds.
This policy matures when you're 65, and that means you're going to retire a very wealthy man.
This property has 2 bathrooms, so it makes things a lot easier for a larger family.
We have our own delivery vans. That means you'll save $50 on delivery fees, and it'll be delivered in perfect condition.
Benefits will enthuse the customer about the product, but a word of warning. Make sure you don't prattle on endlessly about benefits which don't relate to the client's needs. Match the benefits to the client's needs. If you do this, you will make sales. As you give your presentation, you have to keep in mind that you are aiming towards one thing: gaining an order. We need to gain feedback from the customer. We ask questions such as,
Is this the kind of thing you had in mind?
You can see that it's in good condition, can't you?
Wouldn't you agree that this could solve your problem?
we are trying to elicit positive responses from the client. But more than that, we're also looking for objections. An objection is a barrier to a purchase that the client may have. Now, it may seem strange to you, but good salespeople welcome objections. Because unless we uncover these objections and handle them, we're not going to make a sale. Objections also give us insights into the needs that we may not yet have uncovered. When confronted with an objection, our first inclination is to argue and prove our point. However, you can win the point and lose the sale. When a client does have a mistaken belief about our product, we handle it like this.
I can't see how this tiny machine can possibly handle our capacity requirements.
Yes, I know exactly how you feel. But if I can just show you these independent test results...
I can't see how this tiny machine can possibly handle our capacity requirements.
I know how you feel. When I first looked at it, I felt exactly the same way. However, after looking through these independent test results, I found that it was possible. If I can show you...
Our salesperson used two techniques there. She used yes, but, and feel, felt, found. In both cases, she sounded like she was agreeing with the client, but actually corrected her mistaken belief. This is the true art of persuasion. If she had told the client how wrong she was, how far would she have got? Let's take a look at those again and see how the technique works.
I can't see how this tiny machine can possibly handle our capacity requirements.
Yes, I know exactly how you feel. But if I can just show you these independent test results...
I can't see how this tiny machine can possibly handle our capacity requirements.
I know how you feel. When I first looked at it, I felt exactly the same way. However, after looking through these independent test results, I found that it was possible. If I can show you...
When we've completed our presentation and handled our customers' objections persuasively, we attempt to complete the sale. This is called closing. It is now that you must always ask for the order. When you close, people will say yes or no. And when they say no, you obviously have to ask, why not? It is then that their objections come out. It looks too difficult to use, or I don't like the colour. Most objections are due to a misunderstanding on the part of the customer as to what the product does. Once you have the objection out in the open, you simply deal with it and close again. If you want to be successful in sales, don't forget to close. Here are a few examples you can use.
So, what do you think of the quote?
Better than I thought, actually.
Do you want to go ahead then?
Would you prefer the blue or the grey?
We've agreed that it fulfills your quality expectations, the capacity easily accommodates your stated requirements, and it's within your budget parameter. Well, is there anything else we need to discuss?
No, I think that covers it all.
Good. In that case, all I need is your approval to go ahead.
There are many ways to close, and you will learn many more as you continue your career. We've now covered some of the skills you'll need in selling. Listening skills, uncovering needs, selling benefits, handling objections, and closing the sale. I'd like to complete this introductory tape by highlighting some of the more common mistakes made by people new to selling. Talking too much, not listening enough. Assuming the customer's needs instead of uncovering those needs. Talking features instead of benefits. Talking jargon. Arguing with customers when an objection is raised. Criticizing the opposition. Failing to ask for the order. I hope we've managed to give an insight into what selling is and what it isn't. There's still much more to learn. We wish you well.